Hey, what up? It's Third Degree again. I'm doing another recycle tutorial. People been asking me specifically like how I chop like around drums and shit like that. So, just to start out, I just had this random sample. I'm gonna play it for a little bit so you can kind of see where I'm going with this one. I don't know how, it's probably gonna take more than 10 minutes to chop up, so I don't even know if I can do the whole song in a video, but here's what I'm starting with. And like the intro, yeah, no drums or anything. I think this is where people have trouble. Once those drums come in, people get just scared. And I'm actually going to go to the end of the song because this is where I really want to start. And then if I have time, I'll go back to the beginning. So I'm just going to start chopping, and I'm going to kind of explain it. So that'll be where like my starting point is. I don't really chop out loops and shit. I just kind of chop as I go along. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So I try to just kind of see where they loop. So everywhere you see these transients, that's a snare drum, and some of these are going to be kick drums. And lots of times they have kick drums. I'll still chop it, even though I might not necessarily use it, depending on how well a filter works. But so yeah, I'm just going to keep on going. Actually, I'm not chopping on every single snare. I'm only chopping on some of them because I mean, even though I'm chopping them evenly, it's not as there's snare on every hit. So because if you chop on a snare every time, you're gonna have a snare on every single chop, and you don't want that. So basically, you want to chop just at the snare always. So you don't want to chop like. You don't want to chop like right here, or because you're never gonna have any real luck with that shit. You're just gonna get frustrated. You're gonna have kicks everywhere. So I'm just kind of chopping my eyesight, and then it's a common habit to get into. When you know there's drums, I don't think it's a bad thing. Everyone who's on the fucking NPC says, oh, don't chop by eye, chop by your ear. But if you know something's going to be there, just go back and check it. So for this type of chopping, as long as it loops with itself, it's cool. So I'm just going to keep on moving with this one. I don't know how far I'm into this video. And then sometimes you get, so this is what I want to show you right here. So right there's not really an obvious spot. There's kind of one right here, but I just eyeball it evenly. Just and then you know you got it pretty right. You know you got it wrong when you're trying to just like I just click the mouse and try to make it loop, and if it's So like if you're off here, like it just doesn't sound right. If it should sound right, like it's one chop, like you could make a beat out of that one chop. Or that's how I do it personally. So anyways, keep on going. Like I said, I'm just eyeballing it right now. Like this chop right here, I'm gonna keep it in the sample or in the Rex file, but I probably won't use it depending on how well that bass works. I won't know till I make the actual sample beat, but if I'm not using the original tempo, that bass is gonna come in at an odd time. So sometimes I just chop, and more or less I'm actually chopping the sample out of what I want, so it'll be on a key on my keyboard and I just won't use that particular key. So it's basic shit. I'm gonna just you know, this is like a long file. I'm gonna go back to the beginning though and just kind of show you the opposite, or compared to like if there's no drums I would chop. I probably won't use this, but I kind of chop differently for each. If it's repetitive, I try to chop it up a little differently so I have different options instead of having to re-chop and all that. So I don't really like that. Go back. So there's more of a decision making process when there's no drums. So the drums sometimes make it actually a little easier. And then I just like to stick random things down so I'm not clicking back and forth. So that's where I probably start actually using the chops, is kind of like those piano hits. And I think I showed you enough for now, and plus it's going to be pretty long. I just kind of wanted to show you how I work because people keep on asking me, especially about the drums. Let me just do a little outro. So when there's drums, you're kind of locked into the rhythm of the song. You can't chop wherever. When there's not drums, you can you know, use your own discretion where it sounds good. Usually I do the same thing on a really like heavy note, downbeat of a bar, etc. But you know what I like to do with the parts that don't have drums is make the chops longer than I would be with the chops that have drums, just to like make some variation in my chops. So when I do like a hook, I can go back to the first part of the song or the second part of the song, whatever I'm not using, and just jump to that part. And since it's chopped differently, it's got a little different sound. Try to make them kind of mesh together as best I can. So that's how I do it personally. Just throwing it out here. I don't know, people been asking. So another thirdstop.com tutorial. So I'm fucking tired of shit. Apologize for the cussing as well, but I don't want to redo the video. Anyways, check out the site again. As always, questions are always welcome at the site. It's way easier to answer them there than on YouTube. So if you got to the end of it, hit up the site. Registration's free knowledge base. Check it out. All right, peace.